Hi everybody, welcome to my second video about social media. Today I want to talk about how to get more followers and maybe more important, how to keep followers. So maybe you have an Instagram account or maybe you have a Facebook page and maybe you try to sell a product or maybe you just want to get more followers because it is nice to have a lot of followers on social media. Let me start by saying that it's really important that you have a complete profile. So before you even worry about followers and content, start and look at your profile and see if everything is there. Do you have a good profile picture and do you use similar pictures for your different profiles as I mentioned in my first vlog? And do you have a good introduction why people should follow you? Do you explain to people what they can expect when they start to follow you? Which language do you speak and where do you live? What will you talk about and why should they follow you? It's really important that you explain to people what they can expect when they click on the button to follow you or to become a fan. How often do you post? And are you relevant for people? Are you really relevant? And do I want to follow you? And do I want to spend my time, my free time when I'm on social media? Do I want to spend it on looking at content from you and why? So when you have your profile complete, so you have all the images and all the information is there, and you start to share content, try to make a plan before you start to share. What is it that you want to tell people and what is it that you want to share? And more important, what is your goal of sharing all this content? Is your goal to learn something to people so they can learn from your knowledge and your experience? Do you want to sell something? Or do you want to share your story or your journey? Think about that before you start to share. But also think about who are the people that start to follow you. Do you actually know who those people are? And I don't mean do you know them in person, but do you know what's in their interest? Do you know what's really relevant to them? So what do those people do in their free time? What do they love? What do they care about? Try to get a good understanding of that before you start to share any content. I love to write it down and just have one overview of who the people are that I would love me to follow. So I make a nice overview where I put this specific person in the middle of the page and I just write around it saying, okay, what is interesting and what is relevant for those people and what do they care about? So when you have a really good understanding of the people that you want to be your followers or fans, it's time to start to share content. But keep in mind that it's really important to be consistent on social media. So don't share 3 or 4 images on one day and then be quiet for a week or more. Try to be consistent. If you post once per day, that's fine. If you post once per week, that's fine as well. As long as you do it consistent so people know when they can expect something from you. And also think about what is that your profile needs to look like. If we talk about Instagram, for example, what is the type of filter that you want to use and how should your overall timeline look like? When we talk about Twitter, what are the specific hashtags that you want to use and want to be found on? And when we talk about Facebook, how are you going to make your messages engaging? Because Facebook is something very personal. It's not a business platform, it's a personal platform. So as you see, it's really important to know the different platforms before you start to share any content. And it's also important to understand which platform is the most relevant for your audience and the people you want to reach. And don't try to have loads of profiles on all those different channels. Try to keep it, as I said, consistent, but also try to keep it easy. So start with a Twitter profile or start with a Facebook page, and once you have it up and running, that's the time when you start to open up new channels. You don't do it all in one day or one week. First of all, it will be a really hard job to fill out all those profiles. But second of all, it will be really hard to interact with those people and to create relevant content. Because the content you need for all those channels is different. And it's not about copy paste and just share it from Instagram to Facebook to Twitter. Because that's not relevant and that's not interesting. If I follow you on Instagram, I don't want to see the exact same stuff on Facebook and on Twitter. So why should I follow? If you do that, why should I follow you on all those 3 channels? Try to understand the channels and try to understand what type of content is relevant for those channels. So once you have a good understanding of what's relevant, it's also about quality. So don't post very bad looking images just to have an image up there. try to make really, really good images that are really interesting. It's better to have one image up per week than 3 images that are very poor quality. So it's all about quality, it's all about being consistent, but maybe the most important part, it's all about being engaging and being interactive with your followers. So if somebody likes something or they start to follow you or they place a comment, make sure that people hear that you saw it, that they know that you are engaging with them. If somebody starts to follow you, send a thank you message and tell them that you appreciate their follow. If they retweet one of your tweets, let them know that you appreciate that they share it with their audience and their network. If they place a comment on Facebook, always give an answer back or always at least like a comment. And especially in the beginning, that's the only way to grow your network, by interacting and engaging with others. And don't wait until people come to your profile, but visit loads of profiles, place comments on different profiles, like images on Instagram, because people need to see that you're there and they need to see that you have an interest in them as well. So when you have your content ready and you're engaging with people, keep in mind that it should all be about them and not about you. So how do you add value to your network and how do you make sure you're relevant for people and you're interesting to follow? So hopefully this will help you to get more followers. If you're still struggling or you have any questions or you want to know more, just let me know. Leave a comment down here or send me a message. I'm more than happy to help you.